and register to vote at this website. And please share this with your family and friends. So the idea is you send it out and you ask everybody you send it to send it out. So it becomes like a huge chain letter. Then this week's message was, hi, are you concerned about election security? Sign up for ballot tracking. Receive alerts so that you know when your ballot is mailed, received, and counted. And by the way, if you log on to this service from the registrar of voters, you will automatically be called if there's any problem with your ballot. They will email you or get in touch with you. So this is something we should all sign up for, ballot tracking, okay? So you're gonna get this message with every newsletter. You just copy it and send it, okay? And it doesn't cost anything, and it's providing a really important public service. So we hope you will all do it. And we want to thank everybody. Oh my goodness, we have had such a high level of support. People have been sending out the actions every week. And I know the first action that we put up was put up, and 15 minutes later, I got an email from a board member saying to me, oh, look at this great message, Louise, we should send that out. Somebody had read the newsletter, had sent it out to a board member who then responded to it. So we know it's happening, okay? We also want to thank our sustaining donors. You've been calling voters on the phone, some of you, registering voters, writing postcards like crazy, donating stamps, volunteering at the merchandise booth, participating in card parades, and supporting our political action efforts. And we could not be as functional as a club as we are. We have great impact without everybody doing their part, and we want to thank you for doing that. On September 3rd, we sent out a newsletter and said, help, we need money. And boy, you all responded amazingly. So far in September, we have increased our donations, and our sales are up over 284%. And that's not even counting what was sold at the booth that Ann and Andy and others have been running out in Rancho Santa Margarita. So you guys came through big time. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And because you came through big time, we have really been able to help the candidates that we support. So the candidates are listed, the offices are listed on the left side, then the candidate, and the contribution limit. That's the max that we can give. So we've made 3 rounds of contributions, August and September, and we had made some earlier in the spring. And you can see if you read across that we're getting very close to campaign limits on some of these people. But the really amazing news is that when you total up everything we have given candidates so far, it comes up to $25,950. And that can make a real impact, folks. So thank you so much. And because you're still going to the booth out there and buying stuff, you're still rounding up and getting new members, you're still doing sustaining donors, we're going to do another round of donations to candidates. So thank you very much. So this is our agenda, and it was sent, it is attached to the meeting notice so that those of you who are regulars and want to read it can get at it and send us questions or concerns if you have any. We do something a little different because we have sent items. Those are the ones check mark, and try to get one vote that does all the things that are in the check mark, including the motion to adjourn. So we will go through what's on the agenda a little bit, and then we will ask you for a vote. As we look at the agenda, if there are items on the agenda that have a check mark, that you want to have us talk about or you want to ask questions about, you need to tell us in the chat, okay? So if in the chat somebody says, I want to talk about the agenda, we'll do that, okay? Anything with a check mark. So the one piece of new business tonight is that we need the board, the executive board, is proposing this motion. The motion is to authorize the executive board to make expenditures from the club accounts leading up to the election to support endorsed candidates and outreach to voters, with the stipulation that $1,200 remain in both the federal and state account. And the reason for the $1,200 in each account is that that's the minimum requirement to avoid paying fees on the bank account, okay? And we need this flexibility because we're not going to meet as a club again until late in October. And that's too late for us to make donations to candidates and to effectively spend the money to outreach to voters. So we want to spend efficiently and with making good sense, and I think the board has made very good decisions. We want your permission to do that. And that's what this motion will do, is to allow us, instead of keeping money in the bank where it isn't going to do any candidate any good, to get it out to the candidates and to get it out to the people that are doing texting and walking precincts and making phone calls. So we're going to now move on, whoops, I went too far, to the business at hand. So Rachel, can you tell me how many people have signed on to so far?
I'm having a little bit of a difficulty getting this poll to go. I'm not sure if any of the other co-hosts can see a polling question, but actually I set it up and it's not there. So maybe we can just do a poll in the chat if people can just
that would be great. I know how, I'll tell them how to do that. But how many
It's
people
up
do
now, Rachel.
Oh.
How many people do we have, Rachel?
We have 65 participants in the meeting.
Then we have a quorum. That's great. Okay. So now the items that we're going to be working on are the adopting the agenda, the minutes, the motion that I just went over with everyone, and also the authorization to adjourn. Was there anybody put up a comment in the chat saying they wanted to pull one of the consent items?
No.
Good. Okay. So now we have to vote on all of this. So please go to the poll and vote yes or no.
There is no poll.
Oh, the poll went away.
Oh, the poll popped up for a few of us, but we can't use it. So I was going to say the yes, no when you click on participants.
Yes, if you go to participants at the bottom, and then there's a red button and a green button. So green for yes, red for no. So go to participants, it's at the bottom, it's two little people with the word participant under it. Click on that, and then click yes or no. Are we able to do that?
Yeah, we got 39 yeses and only one no.
Okay, I think it's passed. Thank you very much. So we did that bit of business. That's wonderful. Okay, just a few information items from me. This is our schedule for the remainder of September, I'm sorry. So we have our membership meeting happening today. On the 21st, we have a virtual campaign office meeting, which you can get hooked up to on the website or on the newsletter. The registrar is going to start mailing out voter information guides on Thursday next week. And then the following Tuesday, we have the first presidential debate. And I know we're all going to want to watch that. And then in October, on the 5th, vote at home ballots begin to arrive in people's homes. And then we have an executive board meeting on the 6th. And I just want to announce to the board members that I'm going to send an email requesting that we meet earlier than that, so we can get money out quickly to candidates. Then we have another virtual campaign office meeting on Monday, the 12th. Our next membership meeting is on the 20th, and then another virtual campaign office. And then the 28th is the last day anybody should be putting a ballot in the mail. And we'd really, really encourage you to use the yellow drop boxes that are going to be all over the county, because that way it doesn't go through the mail. And then vote centers, which are like these super duper polling places, open on the 30th. And then November 3rd, we vote. Those of us who can't get it together to do it early, which we hope there are very few of you. And then hopefully on November 4th, we can celebrate. So Faye McIntosh is going to tell you what the field team has been doing to reach out to voters. Faye?
Okay, well, we're still rolling along on the Laguna Hills phone bank. We have so far contacted over 1,500, or at least attempted to contact over 1,500 voters. And our list, I think, is about 2,000 people on the list. And we're about 80% complete on that. And we've got a real good group of folks. Thank you so much for picking up the phone and doing the hard work to talk to voters to make sure that everyone in this area knows about Dr. Ed Wong, and to make sure that folks know how to vote and how to find their vote centers and all that great information that we're providing in these phone calls. They are really helpful. The calls have been really, really positive. We're really happy with the way the voters are receiving the calls. So if anyone still wants to volunteer, I do have, once this one is done, we'll open up another one in another area. So we'll have plenty of phone calls for everybody. Just go to our website, and on the scroll on the landing page at canyondems.org, you'll see the event on there that says help us make wellness calls. This says Mission Viejo, but we've moved on from that. We already finished Mission Viejo. So just click on that and it will take you out to the link to sign up. And once you sign up, just pick any day that's listed available. It doesn't matter which one. Once you sign up, I'll get notified and I will contact you individually by email to give you all the instructions that you need to access the phone bank and make sure you have all the resources that you need. So that's where we are on phone bank. It's going really well. Thanks to everybody that's been making all the calls. We really appreciate it. It really does help. Louise?
Peer
Next.
texting. It's there.
Oh, I didn't see it change, sorry. Peer-to-peer texting, we are very excited about this. Annie Krinsky has taken this project from really just an idea with cell phone in hand on a phone bank and has turned this into a very professional operation. So thanks to everyone and their donations and their support of all of our activities in this club, we are able to actually send real live text messages to voters. And we've got a very robust texting schedule coming up. We've got something happening almost every week to reach out to Democrats in our area to make sure that everyone gets out to vote, that they know about our candidates. And we've got, it looks like 7 scheduled so far. And we have a goal to reach over 54,500 voters by text message. And we couldn't do that without your support of this club. And we appreciate it so much. We can't even tell you. This is so exciting. We are reaching so many more voters because of this program. It's been really successful and we really want to make it a permanent part going forward. So we are really hoping for successful campaigns here and we're excited about
How
it.
much does each text cost?
Each text is 8 cents.
Right.
And that's an outgoing text. So our initial text message out is 8 cents. And if we get a reply from a voter and we respond to them, it's another 8 cents. So every time we click the send button, it's 8 cents. And it doesn't show here in this slide, but there is a huge amount of research and development that goes into making sure that our messaging is short, to the point, and that we're getting everything we can out of that 8 cents every time we click that send button. Annie has done an amazing job and a lot of research to make this happen. And it's going really well. We're really, really excited about it. So that's coming up. That's unfortunately, texting doesn't need a whole lot of volunteers, but we are working on it, and it's actually going really well. I think.
But it needs money.
Yeah, we are, and we're doing it in such a way that we're trying to get the most out of every penny. So we have completed Foothill Ranch and Laguna Hills Get Out the Vote postcards. So again, thanks to everybody who picked up a pen or a marker or stuck a sticker or a stamp. These cards are going out to areas that we're not really canvassing, but they're going out to areas that we couldn't normally reach. And since Laguna Hills does have, you know, Ed Wong on the ballot, we wanted to make sure that we got that out there to the folks in Laguna Hills. And Lake Forest is part of, or Foothill Ranch is part of Lake Forest, and we have candidates there too. So we chose those two areas for our first round of postcards. And thank you so much to the volunteers who stepped up, because the volunteers not only wrote all these cards, they also ponied up for the postage so that we could send these out, so that we could stay within our budget. So those will be going out at the end of the month. And Louise, ready for the next slide?
Yep, there you go.
These are beautiful. We have written, we collectively, our volunteers have written 6,000 Get Out the Vote cards. And as you can see in the center of the screen, it's our candidate list, which in the before times, we would have walked and knocked and left on doorsteps. But since that's not possible this time around, we put it on a postcard. And Sarah Burt has been spearheading this thing. She's been crisscrossing the South County, delivering and picking up postcards for the better part of the last couple weeks. And our volunteers have really embraced this. I'm retiring from card writing because there's no way I can match what you're seeing on the screen. These are beautiful. People have been fast. They've understood the time constraints. We're working on trying to get a few more postcards for you guys, but this is really, really important. And this is one of those events where we actually do have the funds to handle the postage for it. So just by having you folks write these postcards and address them for us, we've been able to get 6,000 together. And I believe the last time I saw Sarah this afternoon, she's just about got all the cards out right now with card writers being written. So we're going to easily make our deadline of mailing these at the end of the month, right before ballots go out. So thank you so much to everyone who donated stamps and wrote these cards and made it happen.
Yeah, and we may be able to get out another extra 1,000.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're working on it. Okay. So Annie, you want to take it away for our speakers?
Yes.
Good.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Well, welcome everybody. Before we get to tonight's program, I'd like to tell you about our October program at the next meeting. We're going to have a thorough review of the pros and the cons of the 2020 ballot propositions, and it's going to be presented by Louise Adler. Louise has decades of experience as a political analyst, and this is my chance to say she is one sharp cookie. I'll tell you that. So that's for October. And then for tonight, we're really pleased to have a candidate of the candidates forum, local candidates. And then we'll have an education update on the status of education in the Orange County schools from Barbara Schulman. So tonight we're going to hear from Ed Wong. Ed is he's a president, he's an incumbent president and a candidate for the Saddleback Valley Unified School District Board of Education. Then we'll hear from Beth Schwartz. She's a city council candidate for Santa Margarita. John Christoph is a candidate for Rancho Santa Margarita City Council. And then we'll hear from Pauline Hale. She's a city candidate for Mission Viejo. So each candidate will have 4 to 5 minutes to talk. We'll hold the questions to the end, and put your questions in the chat. And then following the candidates forum, I'll introduce Barbara Schulman. So thank you so much. And Ed, are you ready to take the mic? Ed.
I see him.
Hi, are you there? I'm on.
Yeah,
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
Hi.
Am I there?
you're
Yes.
there.
Okay, good. Thank you. I wasn't quite sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank the Canyon Dems for all of their support. And I'm most importantly proud to say that I am one of you. And I am so glad I joined the Canyon Dems a few years back. And I appreciate everyone's support this year. And it's a little different this year because we're not running at large, you know, as we've had in years past. Now we are broken up into 5 areas of our school district. And I have area 2, which is most of Laguna Hills, everything south of El Toro Road. I have Laguna Woods, that's everything south of El Toro Road. In Mission Viejo, I have everything south of La Paz. I have a little section of Lake Forest around in the Gates, Olivewood attendance area, and a little strip of Aliso Viejo that's part of the Saddleback. So I'm kind of like all over the place. A little bit of both sides of the freeway, mostly west of the freeway, but I kind of, you know, we have to equalize out the number of voters in the area. So that's kind of why I'm a little all over the place. But I look forward to your continued support. I have an opponent running against me who has her children in private school. So I can't figure out why she wants to be on a public school board when she's sending her kids to private school. But nonetheless, you know, I want to make sure as we move through this crazy pandemic times that our children continue to get a high quality education. So I've worked very hard to help us maintain those high academic standards. And certainly more than ever, this whole concept of physical accountability is just crazy. Even though we have the CARES Act and all that stuff that's helping us with a lot of our needs, we're spending more money, as I'm sure Mrs. Schulman will attest to later. We're spending more money on all the PPE equipment, hand sanitizers, masks, thermometer checks than we are taking in. So we are going deep into our budget as we look forward to starting school in a hybrid model in a couple weeks. Because we want kids to get back into the classroom. That's our ultimate goal, but we're constricted by the county health department somewhat. So maintaining, like any place, a physical accountability and responsibility is another one of our goals. And a whole bunch of collaborative leadership, not only with our employee groups, which is very important to keep all of our employees happy and safe, but also with our parents and our community at large, because this is crazy times. Now more than ever, we have so many health issues that we are dealing with that we've never dealt with before. I mean, I think back at my times in school, you know, we had a high school counselor. Now, I mean, there was a nurse, there was a high school counselor. Now we have social workers in our schools. We have mental health counselors who are specialists in helping our kids with their needs. And it's just getting more and more placed on schools to help deal with so many of our social issues. So we want to make sure we keep an eye on that. And again, as we're declining enrollment, it makes things a little tighter, fewer students, and doesn't help our district. But you know, we'll make it through. We have a real strong workforce. I think everybody wants to work harder, and we got to work smarter as we improve. And I think one other thing is, as an incumbent board member, you come with a history of knowledge that a new board member doesn't. You kind of know where the bones are buried and, you know, some of the skeletons, and you have this history of why things are done the way they are, that a new person, it takes a little bit of a learning curve to get to where you need to be. When you just look at our sheer budget of over $300 million, trying to figure that out, as Louise could attest to, it's pretty daunting task. So,
Yeah.
and I have the luxury of having taught that class numerous times at the university. So I've kind of come with a different lens than a lot of other people. I can figure it out and tell you where it should be and where it shouldn't be. So I think that is an important key as we enter this world of physical accountability and responsibility. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, and I look forward to your continued support, and I'm more than willing to answer some questions at the end because I think my time is just about up, but I'm looking forward, and I thank everyone's support. It's really important that we get that vote out, as Louise and many of our our executive staff has said, and I look forward to your support.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Beth, are you ready?
I am. Thank you. Am I coming clear, loud? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm
Sounds
setting
good.
my timer because when I'm around people that I consider friends, I can talk too long. So the timer's set. My name is Beth, and I am running for Rancho Santa Margarita City Council. I am one of those people that have finally found my people in the Democratic Party. After 40 years as a registered Republican, when President Trump came into power, I immediately realized I had lost my way and I needed to find my actual political party. And so I switched and have found a group of people who I have been so inspired. So thank you, Canyon Dems, for all the work you've been doing in this area, for how you have rallied and encouraged and worked in our campaign. I am a nurse, county health worker, public servant, a nursing professor, and a pastor. I actually moved to California years ago to be one of the pastors at Saddleback Church, and had a theological shift, needed to part ways, went back to my nursing career where I have been with the County of Orange serving the homeless community on the COVID-19 team. And so I am responsible to go in to our most vulnerable populations and figure out how are we keeping them protected and safe. I have an amazing, limitless amount of energy to work for the vulnerable. And so my daily work inspires our campaign and the people that I surround myself with. I am a mom, 2 teenagers at Trabuco Hills High School, balancing, figuring out e-learning in this time, and how we are working together as a family unit. I am running on the platform of being someone of a uniter, looking at understanding those in the Republican Party, which is really important in Rancho Santa Margarita, a very conservative, Trump-heavy environment. I am running to unify, to help the non-party preference voters to find themselves in my story, and being able to represent them. Right now, if you know anything about RSM, it is extremely, the representation is just not there. Everyone is a Republican, as you can imagine. And so I'm looking to unify. I'm looking to be a leader, a public health official who can help us walk through COVID-19. I continue to raise concerns and questions to City Council and to the mayor about the lack of masking and distancing around our lake and our community events. I'm also running on the platform of sustainability. I believe we really need to look at reimagining our housing for people like me. I need to rent. My husband and I are middle class and working employees, and I still have not been able to get into the housing market, which I should be able to work where I be able to live where I work, right? And so I'm really looking at how we create affordable housing opportunities, the Dove Canyon project, understanding that and how we can work to create bridges for the not in my backyard community, right? I'm running on the platform of keeping us safe, looking at how our youth, I have 2 teenagers, one of which is struggling with anxiety during this time. We all have a mental health crisis balancing with our physical well-being. And so just as I've taken my cues from Katie Porter, I want to talk about what are our mental health services in our community? How are we preparing everyone to be safe and healthy, both mentally, spiritually, socially, and physically? That's a little bit about me. My 4 minutes is up. I'm just so thankful to have found you all, and thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you, Beth. Next up, we have John Christopoulos, and he's also a candidate for Rancho Santa Margarita City Council. So, John, are you ready?
I am ready. How you doing tonight,
Great.
everybody? Beth, you did a great job. Thank you. Just wanted to, first of all, say thank you to all the Canyon Democrats, and I parallel Beth's statements about I did find my home with you guys, and I have been a registered Democrat all of my life. My parents are immigrants from another country. They came here at, with just pretty much the shirt on their backs, and they came out here and worked hard to make a difference. I've lived in Rancho Santa Margarita for 23 years, and proudly served as RSM's planning commissioner for the last 5 years. Looked at all kinds of issues about, opening businesses and volunteerism and how to give back, and, making sure that we've got a good balanced business sector out there within our business. So I invite anybody to go out and look at my voting record as a planning commissioner, see how I voted, and see what's going on there. We do have, I'm running on three priorities. Fiscal responsibility. City Rancho Santa Margarita, we at the city have done a phenomenal job at maintaining a good budget, a strong budget, and applying the money of the city appropriately. The public safety, Rancho Santa Margarita has got a good public safety record. We're a safe city. We've been one of the safest cities in California and in the nation for the longest time, and we need to continue to do that. And then we need to preserve our planned community and also preserve the values that we have in our community. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. There's low-income housing. There is fire abatement issues coming up in front of us. The city is going to cost us money. We have, I'm trying to find my notes here, sorry. We have aging infrastructure, and we have zoning changes, and a lot of things that we really need to look at from a really deep level. I have, over the last 5 years, worked very closely with people on both sides of the aisle, building bridges from volunteerism through the Boy Scouts of America, RSM Cares, Zero Trash, and other things that I've been doing around the community. I am 100% behind the slate of candidates that we have. Katie Porter, Biden, Harris. We need to make a change. RSM needs to become a little more bluer. While the race is not partisan, it currently is and always been 100% occupied by Republicans, and it's time for us to change that. And this is the time to make that change. So I want to be your candidate. I want to work with Beth. I want to work with all of you, and I really want to make a change of making Rancho Santa Margarita a great place and continue to maintain it the way it is.
Thank you, John. Next, we'll hear from Pauline Hale. She's a candidate for Mission Viejo City Council.
Thank you, Beth.
Pauline.
Hi there, everyone. I just got unmuted. So thank you again to the entire club for all your support. You've been amazing financially, emotionally, getting out. I went out to the booth in Rancho last week, met Beth real time for the first time. And we have so much in common, she and I, while we're looking at our cities. John, I haven't met you yet, but I know we're probably all thinking along the same lines. We're both we're all three of us are in a very red city, and right. Our borders are, kind of nondescript sometimes. It's hard to tell whether you're in RSM. If you drive up Melinda, it's hard to tell
exactly.
whether you're in Mission Viejo or RSM. So our constituency is very much alike. My kind of path to running was realizing some of the shenanigans that our city council has been pulling. I've lived in Mission Viejo for 21 years. I've been a homeowner, and I've noticed the same 10 to 12 people have been on the city council that entire time. Things started to get worse and worse. They were paying less attention to any dissenting voices during council meetings. Greg Rath took a heavy hand while he was mayor, and I just started to feel like there was something more I could do. I'm a fairly moderate progressive, so I feel like I have, I can cross that border with a lot of people that maybe, slightly to the right. I have 21 years of real estate experience in commercial real estate. So I work with developers, tenants, landowners. I can negotiate land use agreements. I can make sure that some of the real estate things that are happening in the city are done right and not with the use of consultants who may or may not have been in someone's back pocket. But most of all, I really want to be a progressive voice on the city council in Mission Viejo. To my knowledge, we haven't had one, and to have a gay Jewish female one would be amazing. And I'm really pushing for transparency. So many things in this city are done behind closed doors, and nobody knows about them because we're not paying any attention. I could bring up, our biggest problem was that 3 of our candidates decided to extend their terms 3 more years because they kicked the can on the lawsuit against us for being an at-large city. So I started this race, gosh, Louise, what, last September, October, thinking that we'd have 5 seats available for a 2-year term. We now have, I mean, for a 4-year term, we now have 2 seats available for a 2-year term, and I have 8 or 7 competitors, 2 of which are incumbents. One's a former council person. So as you all may know, I am the only endorsed Democratic candidate in the race. I would like to focus on our housing crisis, the housing crisis that's, all over California, and then look to, our options for affordable workforce housing here in Mission Viejo. I realize it's a little more difficult. We are pretty much built out, but the projects that have been happening lately, I'm actually surprised. I did some research, and there's been some consensus on affordable, and I want to just make sure that that's moving forward. And I want to, fiscally, I want to keep an eye on their spending. We bought the golf course for $13 million, and it needs about $8 million of rehab. I talked this weekend to the Costa del Sol Democrats, and they're the ones that are directly affected by this golf course that's attached to them. And I got a different perspective on the golf course that I hadn't had before by talking to some Costa members. And they say that some of the improvements are helping. Some of the restaurants are opening back up. They've put out better trails and, tables and stuff. So it seems like their promise to make it something that's a plus to the community is coming through. I would be the first to say at the start, before they bought it, that the highest and best use for the property was not a golf course. But we own the golf course, and I am committed to making sure that we spend the money wisely there, unlike the money that's been spent at the Nadadores Swim Stadium, which has received tons of public money, all the way back to the Olympics in '84, when they updated to host part of the Olympics. A lot of money has gone there, and it's a membership-only organization. So I really am looking, I want to be that voice. I want someone who thinks and feels more like me to be able to go to a city council meeting and feel comfortable expressing their concerns. And from what I can tell in about the past, I'd say 20 years, but at least in the past 2 to 3 years that I've been watching things, that hasn't happened. So I appreciate anybody's support. You guys have been amazing. One other thing I want to mention, and this probably applies somewhat in the RSM race, but please, you will have 2 votes because there are 2 seats available. If you're in Mission Viejo and you're voting for me, please vote only for me. If you give your other vote to somebody else, I need to finish the top 2 of 8. So the only way that's going to happen is if every Democrat in town casts 1 vote for me. That vote you give to somebody else who sounds kind of cool, or there's one guy that's a Democrat but not endorsed, but maybe, that's going to add to his total and bring my total relative to the other 7 down. So I know it sounds, sounds weird to say only vote for me, but only vote for me. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate all the help.
Thank you, Pauline. We have a question that was submitted in advance of this evening, and it's directed to each of you. So perhaps you could answer them in the order in which you've spoken. And here it is. Climate change is upon us. It's affecting us now. What are you doing, both personally and publicly, to mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change? And what specific and near-term policies will you support? So Ed, do you want to go with that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as a school board member, it's a little different. But personally, I can tell you, we have an electric car, and we have solar panels on our house. And my wife and I and our whole family are big believers in the whole climate change that we need to deal with.
And the school district put solar panels over all of the parking lots.
Yes, we did. And that has been a lifesaver in many ways, because not only in the long term will it save us money, but the side effect is now our staff members who are there sometimes 8, 12 hours a day, their cars are a lot cooler than they are if they're sitting out in 95-degree sun for 10 or 12 hours. So that's a side benefit to, I mean, there's a lot of money up front, but over the long haul, we will save dollars. So that's what we have done as a school district. So And I certainly would support any ideas or any legislation to keep that going, because it's just something that's needed, whether it's wind or solar, or we have to deal with it, and we have to deal with it now.
Well, thank you, Ed. Beth, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, thank you very much. Well, I think first off, I would start with just education and bringing a voice for the reality of climate change. I can't tell you the amount of people on my Facebook page that are commenting that I need to go back to Portland because of being a Democrat, and that I certainly don't know what I'm talking about by talking about climate change, right? So I first need to bring representation that this is an actual real problem. As basic as that sounds, I need to be a resounding gong and clanging cymbal when I'm sitting on city council to talk about this. That is why we chose pillar 4 of my campaign around sustainability. I realize that for many reasons, my children and grandchildren may not choose to be able to live in this state nor in this county, right? So talking about the general plan elements, looking at where is our discussion around recyclable water, sustainability built into all of our plans, looking at the repurposing and mixed use of housing, so we're taking advantage of every potential possible repurposing of what we already have here. And but truly, I really feel that we just need people on the council that actually believe, are backed by science, and have the ability to articulate this agenda in non-divisive language, to be able to bring us together. And currently the city council is not thinking in this way, nor advocating for policies that are sustainable. So I really hope to bring that. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Beth. John, you want to answer that?
Yes, I do. What am I doing personally? I have done around my house. I've done away with, grass and stuff, and we've gone with artificial turf to reduce our footprint on the environment, water usage, and other things. But one of the things that we need to be aware of is that there's a projected growth in Southern California of 48% that we're going to increase our population from Santa Barbara down. This is going to be a huge, huge, growth factor in our area, where it's going to be putting a demand on water usage, and other resources that we have. Unless we find better ways to conserve water, how to reuse water and reuse our abilities, we're going to continue to have huge problems, and we're not going to be able to support the people that we need to be here, or the costs of water are going to go through the roof. Other things that we need to look at, and is policies. We need to encourage people to conserve and to go into solar. We did do things that we had the HERO program that we had here in Rancho Santa Margarita for a while, trying to do solar and solar panels. It didn't do the greatest. I don't think we promoted it enough, and we could revisit that and bring that back and try to do more, and trying to get more solar out here and reuse things. Trying to look at my notes here. Other thing is that it is definitely aware of all the fires that are going on in all of California, that our climate is changing. It's getting, the state's getting hotter, the globe is getting hotter. And unless we find ways of lessening our footprint, encouraging more people to work remote, and COVID kind of pushed a lot of us to work remote, which is reducing our footprint on the planet, less greenhouse gases and doing things. And the other thing that I've been working on this for years. It hasn't taken a lot of traction because there's a lot of procedural things on there, and been working behind the scenes on this, is to try to increase our reclaimed water usage in Rancho Santa Margarita. A lot of our water that we're still using is potable water that goes into all of our planters and other places. The water line comes down and ends over by the Alicia T, and it's a great opportunity for us to continue to work with our water districts, build bridges, and see if we can continue to bring that reclaimed water and save those valuable resources for the places they need to go.
Thank you so much, John.
Uh-huh.
Pauline, do you want to answer that question? Pauline?
There we go. I was having trouble.
Okay.
I'd love to answer that question. First of all, I can almost guarantee you Greg Raths is a climate change denier. He's tied in with those, people we have at the County Board of Supervisors, and I don't think down to one of them, they have any concern about global warming or climate change. I can, a little bit of perspective that some of you may not have. I grew up north of Los Angeles in the 60s and 70s when the air was orange. So I remember the world with the smog and all of the horrible things that helped lead to some of these holes in the ozone layer. And to think that someone like President Trump, I even hate to put those two words together, Mr. Trump, could stop so many of these, programs from the EPA and all of that to try to protect the air we breathe in. Just this past couple of weeks with the smoke, I have a cough. I'm like, COVID? No, smoke, ash in the air. So I don't want to live in 1970s LA ever again. I will confess, I do not have an electric car. I love fast cars, but I offset that with a dog that's a great composter. I do have solar power on my home, and I work in the dark. I leave the rest of the house dark during the day while I'm in here working from home. But I think where I can really make an impact right away is, through my, 25 years in commercial real estate, I have become educated in, and I'm an advocate for, the whole green building industry. I would, stomp my feet and insist that any new buildings here in the city would be, Energy Star certified. LEED certified gets a little dicey, it's a little expensive to maintain, but I would make sure that to the best that the contractor can do, that we have efficient, green, well organized buildings that can help in the city. Because that's really where the city alone, it can do it with reclaimed water, like John mentioned and Beth mentioned. It can do it with, I recycle to the point where I have a stack of recycle that doesn't fit in my recycle that won't go elsewhere until I can recycle it. Our recycling programs, I will say until Trump, things had really improved. And, my 53 years, I feel like we live on a much cleaner planet. So that's a good thing. But now we need to worry about, our state is on fire. Our state is on fire. And we didn't have to rake it to avoid this. So I just think that we need to think a lot of these things through. I think sometimes special interests will get a building built or a project done that like, oh, it's not going to pollute, but just for this one time. We need to stop that. I don't think we can get, where there's wind, the wind energy, put in the city. We don't have that open space, but I think we can make smart choices as a city. I try to make smart choices as a person. And it's really, and the other thing would be to drain the private pool, but that's just my, always joke.
Thank you, Pauline. Well, we're out of time. There's more questions, but we're not going to have time to get to them. But there's a lot of enthusiasm in the chat room for all of you, and it's just been great hearing from you. And we thank you for the incredible efforts you are making personally to make a change in our local government. So thank you all very, very much. Now we're going to hear from Barbara Schulman. Barbara's going to give us an education update. Barbara is a board member of the Saddleback Valley Unified School District. She's been an integral member of our club for a long time. She wrote, what she wants you all to know about her is that she loves life. She likes to joke and smile, and she believes this club has given her another family. Barbara, we are so pleased to have you on the program. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready, Annie. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me as your speaker this evening. I do like to smile. Everybody here is my family. I would like to say to the Jewish group, Lashana Tova, a Happy New Year this weekend coming up. And I've posted something on Facebook talking about it's a time for compassion. It's a time for getting along. It's a time for us all to work together. And it doesn't matter what your beliefs are, and I know I'm supposed to be talking about school, we all need to work together. We need to be kind to one another. So I just need to start that way. Okay, now about Saddleback. I can talk mostly about Saddleback. I can add a little bit about Capo, but I'm only on Saddleback. I have to tell you, our school districts are all doing amazing jobs. You need to know I did not want to go back, and I voted to stay out longer. But our board voted to go back, and when you're part of a group, you do what the group says. So I will tell you that in our school district, we are putting air purifiers in every single classroom. There is a thermometer at the doorway for every classroom so kids are taking their temperatures. We have plastic shields for everybody to sit at their desks. They sit at opposite places. They don't sit at the same place. Our elementary schools will be going to school as all of our schools will go on the 29th of September, which is different than some of the other districts in Orange County. They are bringing back special ed, some of them first, then elementary, then secondary. We chose in Saddleback to bring everybody back at the same time. Could be good, could be bad, but let's be very honest, folks. We really don't know. I'm talking to you because I'm a board member, but the truth is none of us know what's going to work. How is it going to work? How is blended learning working? I can tell you that distance learning right now is so much better than distance learning in March when we went out. I can tell you that our teachers have gone above and beyond to be the very best that they can be. There was a bill, SB 98, and I'm not good on all the bills and what they say, but it has caused our teachers in the whole state so much more work. They have to show if a child is in class online, if they've done their work, if they haven't done their work. It takes massive amounts of time, and our teachers are doing it all. Now, those of you who know me know that I was a teacher in the district for 30 years, and so they're my loves. The teachers are my loves. Not saying I don't like the administrators, so let's not say that I'm saying this differently, but the teachers are always my first concern, and they are doing a fabulous job. I think it is going to be very difficult for what we're expecting of them as of September 29th. The way I see our numbers going, it looks like we're in very good shape in Orange County, so we will be starting school. I can tell all of you to have a little grace for everybody. I think our parents have done a fabulous job. I think the people who should be commended are our students. Those kids are getting on, they're getting dressed, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and we need to be very, very proud of all of them. I can tell you, as Dr. Wong had said, financially we're going to be in a huge trouble when this is over, because can you imagine what it's costing to put PPE in I mean, even though we got CARES Act money, I don't want you to think we didn't get anything, but we have to have janitors come and clean in between classes and there's this machine that sprays and blows everything all around, you know, so that it's going to be super clean. This is going to be an unbelievable situation for everybody. Capo is definitely going back also. They just chose to go back 1 week at a time. Kinders, there's a question, 10 kinders in a class keep socially distanced, especially with keeping kids distance no matter what age they are is going to be difficult. High school kids want to go up and hug their friends too. Don't kid yourself. In our district and in Capo's also, and actually I believe Irvine and Tustin I can speak for also, everybody must wear a mask. There is no, oh, I don't want my kid to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask in school. Children will not be changing classes. The elementary teachers will teach 2.5 hours in the morning, have their lunch break, and 2.5 hours in the afternoon, and different students will come at different times. Our high school and secondary are only going to see their teachers once a week because they only go 2 days and they are going on a block schedule. So they'll do 1-3-5 1 day a week and 2-4-6 the other day. So they will only see their teachers 1 day a week. Half of their class will be online, half of their class will be in. I would be happy to answer questions. I know you'd all like me to tell you that this is all going to work out, and I think all I can tell you is we're doing the very best we can. Personally, I have a hard time with taking chances so early, but I understand this is what we're doing, and so this is what we're doing. And one of the reasons you elected me, you helped elect me, is so that I could say my piece at a board meeting, which I did this week, and wasn't loved by everybody, but I was loved by me because I could wake up the next morning saying I did what I needed to do. So I would be happy if there's any questions, Annie, in the chat or something else to answer. I would be very, very happy to do that. And if not, I hope I gave you the information you needed. Please be kind to teachers, to nurses, to doctors, to everybody else.
Barbara, there is a question in the chat room, and
Okay,
the
Annie.
question is, are there any Capel Valley School Board candidates that we might support?
I believe that somebody wrote in the chat already that there is somebody. Let me see if I can. The Democratic Women of South Orange County are supporting Sue Hill, Capistrano Unified School Board Trustee Area 3.
And there's also a woman named Bronstein.
Area 4, who is a Democrat. But if you live in Lake Forest, all I'd like to say is there is a woman and a man. One is an incumbent, and the
We're going to
other
talk about this, Barbara.
private schools. Why would we want somebody who goes to private schools to be on the school board? So I'm not saying names or anything because I know we're
going to say
Democratic.
names, Barbara.
I can't say it. I know, Louise. I snuck it in anyway. They all know me.
Yeah. I want to take a point of personal privilege. I've noticed in the chat that there were multiple questions on a particular issue. I think John has already addressed this issue, but I want him to address it again. John, please tell us, do you support Katie Porter?
Yes, 100%. Okay. And I'm going to expand on that a little bit, Dr. Adler, for just 1 second, if
Quickly,
that's okay.
though.
Okay. I've been a registered Democrat all my life. I fully stand by the Democratic platform. Greg Rath has been a friend of mine. We have, through Boy Scouts and scouting things, and community events. But Katie Porter has my support. Biden has my support. Harris has my support. I've also invited Katie Porter to local events, and I've also reached out to her office for my own personal support on getting into Rancho Santa Margarita. I am surrounded by Republicans all around me, so there are photos and there are things of me being out there in the community. But while my local city council race is nonpartisan, it is currently and has always been 100% occupied by Republicans, and it's time to change. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to represent, and that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to make RSM a better place.
Thank you, John.
I hope that answers everybody's questions.
Well, thank all of you for the candidates and Barbara for a very upbeat, informational program, and very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can screen share again. Okay, so moving along, and now it's not letting me move. I'm going to try it one more time here. Okay. It just seems like when we go in and out of the screen share, it doesn't like it. Okay, let's see if we can get beyond this. Okay, Kathy, do you want to say something about our small business group?
I wish there were more to say on it. We don't have any new members. It still exists. I know the point of having the shop local, and you guys can all go on that link, canyondems.org/shop local, and see who all the local small business owners are within Canyon Democrats. If there's anyone else out there who is a small business owner and wants to join, then you can send me an email, business@canyondems.org. Until we get into more live meetings, I don't really know how much more we can do other than refer people.
Okay.
I know once we, so carry on.
Okay, darling, thank you. Okay, so we are going to have a little discussion here about candidates. And Barbara Schulman sort of brought this up, but because we are a Democratic club, we can not endorse anybody who is not a Democrat. But I can sure tell you who not to vote for, okay? And so for school board area 4 for Saddleback Unified, and that's the area out toward Rancho Santa Margarita, please do not vote for Benjamin Yu. He is a right winger. He's run before in Republican primaries and gotten beaten. And he's just looking to get his name on the ballot in order to advance the right-wing agenda. So we certainly don't want people to vote for him. And now I'm going to turn it over to Janet, who is our candidate support person. Janet? Yo, Janet. I know you're there.
She's there.
Okay, all right, we're good?
Yeah, good.
All right. Do or die time, guys. We are at the point where we need you desperately. 2 things that you need to do. Okay, you see all of these wonderful people here, and we've been very blessed to have many of these people come and speak to us. We've had the people tonight. We've had Ed and Pauline and Beth and John and Susie. She's running, but she was the only one running, so she gets a pass on this one for area 3. First thing you need to do, in just a minute, Faye is going to talk to you about some of the activities that are coming up. And we desperately need the phone calls and the postcards to get out the names of these people. Now, the other thing that you can do is go on the websites of these people. You don't even have to memorize the website. Just put in Ed Wong for school board, Beth Schwartz for RSM. You'll go to it if you have a trouble. $5, $10, $20, whatever you can do, because they desperately, desperately need a last big push there. So, look at these names. Now we have faces to go with all of these names. And we've just got a few more weeks, so we can do it. We can do it. We desperately need some Dems in there, guys. We need that other voice. We need to start to build that. And you can see that these people that we've all presented tonight are people who are willing to listen to both sides. They repeatedly said that they want consensus. And so that's what we need to continue to build in our cities and on our school boards. Barbara, Susie, they want some help on the school board, so they need candidates that are willing to help. So again, no on you. Now, I'd like to turn this over because since it is Education Month, and I'd like to give a shout out to all of the teachers, and I want to thank Barbara for mentioning that teachers really are carrying the load on the work on this one. And it's all new, and it's burdensome, and it's a lot for them to do. So I want to give a shout out to them, and I would like to introduce to you the president of the Saddleback Valley Educators Association, who represents the nearly 1,200 teachers in our district, where Barbara and Ed and Susie are on the school board. So I know Joanne is out there, Joanne Goodfellow. She might have to unmute. I saw her out there. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry, it took a while. The host had to unmute me. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. Hi, I'm Joanne Goodfellow. I was elected the SVA union president 3 weeks ago. So this is a great time to be a new president, and all of you that are running for things, COVID's the best time to jump in with both feet into any political. I talked to Janet about it, and I just wanted to come and thank you guys for your support of Ed Wong and Susie Swartz. You guys supported Susie, even though she's not running, you had already given your endorsement. And the unions are very appreciative of that. We also wanted to let you know that our classified union is also supporting Ed as well. So, you supported the right person when the employees are supporting them. I am going to, as I am not a member of your club, to tell you who else the teachers and the unions are supporting. We are supporting Amanda Morell for trustee area number 4. Benjamin Yu, the one that said do not vote for, is a right-wing anti-public school pro-charter, and he is, like Louise said, just trying to get onto the next ballot. So we just wanted to make sure that we thanked you. And even though we know you cannot support Amanda, we wanted to make sure you guys were aware that the teachers and the classified union are supporting somebody. And if that's interests you on who you might want to vote for out in that area. Thank you again. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so get out there and do the last bit of work to bring home our elected officials. We want to get some wins in here. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I think we danced the delicate dance of not endorsing a Republican. Oh, geez, this is just, every time I go out of screen share, it stops me from changing. That one won't work either. It's just so frustrating. Just hang in with me.
Watching you struggle, so.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah.
It makes us feel better about ourselves.
Yeah. Just when I think I've got this all figured out, you guys, I'm going to go pull it up again. Hold on. Dang. Oh. I don't know what I did, but it's working. Yay, thank God. Okay, Marty, talk to us about fundraising.
And make sure you share your screen.
Screen share for me.
It's not screen shared.
Nope.
Oh, and now I can't see screen share. I finally got it working and I can't see screen share. Can you see it now?
Coming. There it is. There it is.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. Well, as you heard, we've been able to support local candidates to the tune of $25,950 this election cycle. And that money did not just fall out of the sky. That money is in our coffers because we've done massive fundraising and because of the support of all of our members and everybody who's helped out. One of our big fundraising successes was the brainchild of our own Walt Lawson. We want as many members as we can to to be members of the Canyon Dems, and so we keep our dues low so that we can invite everybody to be a part of it. However, there are people who are able to give a little bit more, and we want to encourage that. So the Sustaining Donor Program is a way that you can add $5, $10, $15, $100,000 a month to what you already give to the Canyon Dems for your membership, and that's what helps us to pay for stamps and to support candidates and do all of that stuff. To date, this calendar year, we've raised $82,430 through our Sustaining Donor Program. And so I want to thank everybody who's a part of that and encourage those of you who aren't to either make one-time donation to Act Blue or through a check, or to sign up through Act Blue for monthly donations. You know, $5 a month turns into $60. $10 a month turns into $120. That's amazing. You know, that helps us a lot. And you see by the way we've been able to support candidates how important every penny is. So thank you, thank you, thank you. In addition, we've done some creative things since we weren't able to do a lot of the stuff we normally would have. One of the things that we've done is our car parades. So far, we've celebrated the 4th of July. We've celebrated, what else? Veterans Day. So, you know, we're trying to do, make some fun and honor people. So, back to school as well. So we get together in our cars, we get together at a central location, we decorate our cars, then we get in a line and we parade past people's houses after they've given a donation of $50. Everybody gets a personalized lawn sign that I make for them. And we have great fun. Everybody comes out, they're all honking, we're all honking our horns. The neighbors come up and say, what's going on, what's going on? So if it's your 16th birthday, or you're now a second grader, or you were a veteran and we want to thank you for serving our country, that's just a way of shining a light on people and making a little fun. Our next car parade will be our Trunk or Treat. And you can see the sign for that on the screen. It'll be actually on Halloween. We're going to get together and decorate our cars for Halloween. And we are going to, you can sign up now. We're going to go to kids' houses and they can trick or treat from everybody's trunk. So you'll know that it's safe because we'll make sure everything is sanitized and individually wrapped. This year, however, we are also going to do trunk or treat for adults. And that will include a nice bottle of wine. And who doesn't want a nice bottle of wine? Now, you can't go to every car for a bottle of wine from each car, just one per person. But the kids are going to be able to go to each car. So the details of that are on the website under fundraising. We are asking for wine donations. As you can imagine, our O'Neill brunch for this year had to be postponed. It's now scheduled for December 12th of 2021. So it's 121221. So we will have that, but in the meantime, we've done the wine wall a couple of times, and our members and friends have donated bottles of wine so that we can make money from that. So we're asking you to please make your wine donation to the Trunk or Treat so that all the adults who sign up to have trick-or-treating at their curbside could have a nice little surprise too. Let's see. We are going to do a visit from Santa. We will have a Santa in a flatbed truck on a rocking chair, and with your $50 donation, we'll come by the house. Santa will have treats for the kids, and the child will be able to talk to Santa from an appropriate distance because way up in the truck bed is more than 6 feet. So you'll be able to interact with have your child interact with our Santa. So that the dates and details on that will be coming soon. But in the meantime, thank you so much for helping us very much raise as much money as we have, and to help all of the candidates that we've been able to help. And now we just need to hit the ground running and get them all elected. And thank you so much.
And Mallory is going to tell you about a really exciting event. Mallory Kleckner, are you there, girl? We have to unmute Mallory.
I don't see Mallory.
Real quickly, I want to thank Mallory. She's been like my right hand, left hand, and the top of my head through all of this stuff. It gets busy this time of the year, especially with campaigning and other things. So I couldn't have done any of the stuff that I've done this fall without Mallory. She's amazing, and I thank her.
And that's Mallory standing there with in the back of the truck with the dog. So on October 10th, which is 5 days after ballots start dropping and arriving at people's homes, we're going to do a huge car parade. It's going to wind through all the cities that we cover. People are going to be honking. We're going to have signs on the side of the car for our candidates, and we're just going to make a big splash all over town. So if you want to volunteer to have your car in the parade, you go to our website, kinyadems.org, and go to volunteer and go to shifts. and you can sign up to volunteer. We're also going to be stopping by people's houses. So if you want to have the car parade come to your house and give you a personal parade, it'll also cost you the $50, and you can sign up for that on our website. So it's going to be a really exciting event. And sorry Melora had to leave, but I know she wanted to talk about it. Melora was a cheerleader in high school or college, and she is our cheerleader for sure. Okay, Anne, you want to talk about membership?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Can you see me?
We can't see you, but we can see the membership numbers on the screen.
Okay, wait a minute. I was going to flip my thing. Anyway, so our membership is still rising. You can see we're up to 407. At our booth this weekend, we actually, a family handed me a membership and an individual handed me a membership, and we gave out tons of membership envelopes. So they are still rolling in, which helps our bottom line greatly. And now on to my other job.
The booth.
I started as membership chairman, and during the year, my job seemed to have morphed into merchant. So we have our shop on our website where you can go and buy all of our goodies, from face masks to jewelry to yard signs for all the different candidates, and Biden-Harris buttons, bumper stickers, rally signs. And then I decided to go to the public. So last week, we started out in RSM with a pop-up booth. I want to thank everybody that came and helped us, that held signs, helped set up, helped take down, came to encourage everybody, and who came to shop. We were very successful and took in about $1,500. And then the next Saturday, we also were there and took in another wad of money. So we had people asking us if we could go to Mission Viejo because there was nothing in Mission Viejo. I know we are the only Democratic booth out there. So this week on the 19th, we are going to be in Mission Viejo across from Trabuco Hills High School on the corner of Aliso, and I think that's actually where Santa Margarita Parkway and Portola switched names, right in that area. But we're right by the TJ Maxx and McDonald's. And I'm sure there's a lot of parking. We will be there from 8 to 3. And what I need are, again, people to set up at 7:30. We really would like to be set up by 8 or 8:30 to start sales. I also need people to help clean up at 3. And we need cheerleaders who will stand with their sign on the road to attract attention, to put their Honk for Joe sign up so that people are hearing us and seeing us. And it's amazing how many honkers we got. And so it really was heartwarming, all the people that were coming into our booth and saying, oh, we're so glad we're here. We wondered when somebody was going to show up. And so we are here. We will have Biden-Harris t-shirts this weekend that we have ordered, and Louise is picking up on Friday. We have lawn signs that are for your voting district, and we chose those because they have the down ballot candidates on them, which we are encouraging people to vote for and to talk about. And so those are things you can put in your front yard. So we have a variety of items. Basically everything that's on our website, we will also have for sale. So if you would like to help me, the other thing is, it's going to be a cash only sale, and we cannot accept $100 bills. So keep your big money at home, bring your 20s, your 5s, your 10s, your 1s, and we'll be glad to take any money that you have, smaller bills to give us. So
if they want to sign up, they have to contact you, Ann?
That's my next thing. If you'd like to volunteer, you can go to annowens@cox.net and let me know if you'd like to come, either set up, clean up, or to hold a sign. I also had a sign up slip at the table last week where people who just came up who weren't a member of our club said, "How can I help you?" Well, I said, you can join the club is one way, but then I also said you can come and help set up this week. So, try to encourage, even if you have a neighbor that wants to come out with you, try to encourage them to do that. But I just feel like we have really, really been embraced by the Democrats in the community. And it was really heartwarming to see how many people were out there supporting us. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and be glad to answer any questions that you have. On our website, our shop has taken in over $3,000 on that side alone on goods too. So we're taking in a pretty good amount in our store. I told Louise, for someone who never wanted to have anything to do with merchandising, I thought that I never have, but I'm in it now for the long run.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Anne. Anne's doing a great job. We all should give her a round of applause.
He says there's a Trump booth here. Yes, there is a Trump booth. The Trump, by the way, if you're interested, the Trump booths are paid participants. They're usually younger people that just need a job and they want the $15 an hour. I've actually interviewed a couple of them last week to kind of find out, what their setup was. They were telling me their life story basically. So don't worry about that. I don't think that'll be a problem. Because the one last week, we had a Black Lives Matter by us and a Trump booth. The Black Lives and we were very busy, and I never saw a person all day at the Trump booth, so I'm not really worried about it.
Okay, so the final item on our agenda is the treasurer's report. And normally Ken sends me numbers, but we had so much going on and so many orders to get the merchandise so that Anne would have it to sell that we got a little busy with that. So I filled in these numbers. So Ken may want to make revisions, but it's probably close enough for government work. And
Well,
also,
actually, it's right on, spot on.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Ken this just takes us to the end of August. So it doesn't show any of the income from the booths or from the great email response we had. So go ahead, Ken.
I've been a treasurer of this club since the beginning of 2016. I've seen a lot of changes happening in that period of time. Let me give you an example. The contributions we gave to candidates in 2016 was $1,750. 2018, $17,500. 2020, $26,450, and we're not done. So it's been a really amazing group of people. I'm so proud to work with these folks. And the merchandise that Anne and Andy have been selling has been like hotcakes. I think the booth, we've already processed $3,700 worth of merchandise sales. And I think there's another 3,000 I haven't even touched yet. So with the additional expenses that we have for getting the t-shirts and getting some more signs for our booth and everything, our current balance is going to be it's $8,757 now, but we haven't processed 3,000. So this is money that is going to go to candidates, and we do have a stipulation of a bottom part where we don't want to go below a certain number. And I'm going to be very diligent in encouraging. We do hold on to some money, but it's been an amazing year, and I want to thank every one of you for your support and just your participation in a lot of these things. This is what makes the club so good. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, so please stay safe, stay healthy, stay engaged. And if you're participating in an outside activity, where you may be engaged with other people in our club. We all have to wear masks. We all have to stay distant from each other, and we all have to practice our hand washing routines. So please do that and stay engaged, and we're all in this together. And we hope that we're going to have really good news on November 4th, and we can all celebrate. And we will leave the Zoom open for about a half an hour if you want to visit or ask questions. But it's very informal. Don't feel that you have to stay. So